Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nuuli Forged. We are a 5e actual play stream which takes place in the world of Nuuli, which came out of my brain, and 6 of my friends are brave enough to play in.
Yeah, 4 of us.
Well, Mike will be along. He plays Renata. He'll be along momentarily. Unfortunately, Amber, who plays Ozo, is out this evening. But we'll roll with it. And Tanner, for various reasons, has to be off camera, but he's still with us. Say hi, Tanner.
Hi.
See, he exists. It's all gravy.
Or do I?
Oh, you do. Oh, and NYC Zombie just resubscribed for 24 months. Thank you, NYC Zombie. Very kind of you. Wonderful. Yes. Well, that's our spiel real quick here. Hope everyone's doing well. I need someone to roll me a d30 to start off the evening. And then we'll go into introductions and get this ball rolling, or this die rolling.
Apparently I don't know how to do that.
/R is the trick.
I slashed the wrong way.
You did. You dyslexiaed. Dyslashied? I don't know.
Nope, that also didn't work. Hi! I can't fucking use a...
You did the same / orientation.
I got you.
Wow. All right.
Well, your pick.
Using...
I think we need to give it to Sarah just as a pity roll.
Yeah. It's all good. And hey, so look, Mike joined us just in time.
Hello.
To roll a d30.
No, we got it. I'm gonna take Sarah's roll because she tried 5 times before it happened.
Are you going to take the average?
Yeah.
Resulted in a number.
Yes. Well, welcome to our 14th episode, everybody, for Campaign 2. Huzzah. In the meantime, oh, hey, I don't need the battle music playing. Sorry about that. It got a little... The introduction was very aggressive. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right.
It was my battle against the dice roller.
There you go. It was all a plan. It all worked out. We're going to go around. Everybody introduce yourself and your character and answer the question, does your character hold any beliefs or views that others may find disturbing, distasteful, offensive, anything like that? And what has resulted in these views? Like, do you think your character understands that others find these views disturbing? So it's a fun little something to mull on. What if any, beliefs you have do you think others might find disturbing, or your character rather?
Sure.
Because it's all a game, so it's all fun. All right. Well, the question having been percolating in your mind for all of 5 seconds, let's start with introductions. We're going to start at the top of the rungs with Sarah.
Hey, that's me. My name is Sarah, and I swear I've been on the internets before and know how to use a dice roller. And I play Andra Grayspark, who is the halfling wizard. And I would guess that the number one controversial belief she holds is that dead things don't have to stay dead.
Fair.
Which, other party members aren't necessarily aware of, but
my next class will be a cleric.
Again.
Again.
Just for that.
Just to cause drama. He's a drama queen. Wonderful. Next up, we've got Matt.
Hi, I'm next up, also known as Matt, and I'm playing Corvus, the human phantom rogue. He also has some thoughts about dead things, but I think he probably wants them to stay that way. He just wants to be friends with them and not have to fight them. I don't know if he's really got any controversial beliefs other than I don't think he really... It's not so much that he doesn't believe in the gods, but he doesn't put much stock in them.
Fair enough. Very cool. All right, moving on. We got Tanner.
Hi, I'm Tanner. I'm playing Lunin, the Hexblood Fighter,
I'm making a mess.
Fey Knight Fighter. Uh, and beliefs. I think a lot of people are below him, but he kind of
Yeah.
keeps that to himself-ish
Huh.
until you piss him off,
Yeah.
like Corvus.
Wait, what did I do? What did Corvus do?
Order him around too much. Still a peasant. He did sign a contract, but you're still a peasant.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Next up, we got Mike.
Hello, everyone. I am Mike. I play Renata Soul Angel, the half-elf bard warlock. And I'm trying to think. Nothing too crazy. I guess the only thing I can think of is that Renata doesn't really believe in love. Not that that would disturb people, but it might make for some conversation.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. And then we've got Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeff. I play Selenar, a night elf, a regular elf druid. Selenar doesn't really know what to believe, and that's kind of what he's doing this exploration for, is to kind of figure out where all the power in the world comes from. He's very quizzical and just doesn't know what is true.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, Tanner, I think we can hear you drinking.
I don't know what that is, but it's amazing because we can't see anything.
Oh, I love it. Wonderful. Well, thank you all very much. And I am Jared. I'm your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. I play everyone and everything else that is not the 6-player characters. And there's lots of disturbing opinions held by a variety of people all across Nuuli. So you'll just have to interview them and find out one by one, I suppose. But that all being said, let's dive right into last time on Nuuli Forged. Last time on Nuuli Forged, the party decided to make their way back to the damaged, deserted, and haunted home of the Kindred Spirits, a former adventuring party of the city of Cliffside which had died some 5 years prior. The eponymous bar has long been avoided by the local populace, and often is cited as a source for any strange occurrence that happens in the neighborhood by the residents. While there, the party had a brief interaction with a spectral halfling, whose name Corvus remembered was Urabel, according to his statue. So Urabel, before he turned invisible and summoned his afterlife-aligned allies. Slowly, the new combatants joined the fray as the party began taking many hits, but also dealing out quite a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the ghosts seem to be resistant to a lot of elemental damages, as they are partially, what's the word? Insubstantial.
Corporeal.
Ethereal?
Ethereal, incorporeal,
Apathetic?
some of them.
Lonely?
And all appear to be able to resist their mundane weapons. Eventually, the ghost of the half-elf named Zorn appeared and apologized for the scenario, but seemed to be either unwilling or unable to do anything to stop it, just sort of making excuses, but not actively being overly aggressive to the party.
Excuses.
Yes. Through his communications with Ozo, it has become clear that he bears some form of responsibility for the fate of his friends, and the last thing he said was simply, the floorboards. So who's going to know what that means? Do you have a question already, Matt?
No, I was
No, he's
saying
volunteering that he knows.
I do. I know. I've known
Okay.
the whole time. I just couldn't move.
All right, great. Before we jump right back into the heat of battle, I'm going to need Renata to roll me two things, a d4 and a d20.
There's your D4
Okay.
and your D20.
Wonderful. Appreciate it. Do. Let me just check something right quick. Should have had this pulled up because I knew I was going to do it, and I didn't. So there you are. That's the way it happens sometimes. Ooh, nice. Okay. Do. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Now we are going to go back into the adventure at hand and the lair or the home of the former Kindred Spirits called Kindred Spirits. The downstairs being a former bar tap room kind of scenario. And see what happened. We are going to start back at the top of the initiative with yes, with Corvus at the top of initiative here. So here we go. Come on back to our glorious adventure, everybody.
There we are.
Yeah. Here we are.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, Corvus, it is your turn. You currently cannot see too much. Oh no, the flaming sphere is granting you plenty of light.
And also singeing your hair.
It is quite warm next to you. It feels like if you stay in the vicinity too long, it will burn you.
That's
and
okay.
you can currently breathe acid.
These ghosts were getting pretty chilly, so that's all right.
That's true. You do have the Dragon Breath spell on that allows you to keep picking up your mask enough to spit out acid.
I'm glad we made that canon. So...
Unless it's got a little like thing that like lowers the bottom half, so it's like when you chew, it's like a jaw thing. Like
I need to work in. Yeah, Corvus really needs to think out. I still am of the opinion that this version of his mask is like when Spider-Man made his first costume. It's not all there yet. It's not Tony Stark done.
Of course not.
Okay, let's see. So Corvus, little backstory here. Corvus knew something about the floorboards, and he may or may not have had that eureka moment. And Ozo may or may not have also thought the same, but we'll never know because they're not here. Could you remind me whereabouts that was? I know it was near the bar, maybe near where Ozo is.
It was next to the fireplace, not far from where Ozo is currently standing.
That's what I was hoping you'd say. I'm going to.
I think there's a trap door behind me in the bar, though.
Correct. That is a place I don't want to go. It looked dark and scary. 5, 10, 15, 20 feet, I think will get me next to Ozo?
Sure.
Is this the floorboard location?
Somewhere in this general vicinity, yeah.
Okay, I think I would like to go there and search for the previous spot on the floor that I had sort of...
As you go rushing past, you feel something punch into you. With a 22 to hit, you take 7 force damage.
Jesus.
You just feel like a small little like ball of force just poof, right into your side.
I may not live long enough to tell anyone what's under the floorboards, so... I didn't really want to draw attention to it, but I guess they all know I'm going over there now, so I might yell out to Ozo that... Well, let's open it first. Let's see what's in there.
So you're going to go down to those floorboards. You don't have to make a check because you already know where it is.
Good.
So you're going to crouch down and try to pry this thing open with your dagger?
I believe so.
Great. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Very interesting.
Cool. For a moment, you are filled with fear and uncertainty, but you push through it knowing that this is something you have to do. Go ahead. You can either make a thieves' tool check or an athletics check to try to pry this open.
It will not be athletics.
Okay.
I believe thieves' tool we decided could also be my sleight of hand. It has the same modifier.
Yeah.
Right.
Just if you take like expertise in it, you'll want to build it as a separate skill.
I see. I've just got proficiency right now, so I think it's the normal.
Right. Yeah, a 19 is more than enough. You take your dagger and run it along the seams in the floorboards that go like 90 degrees to the rest of the floorboards, and you pop up a small little like 8-inch square that's kind of got little sticky out bits, and you pull it out, and what you see inside, thanks to the light cast by this flaming spear that Selenar has cast, is a silvery bell sitting on a velvet pillow on the floorboards.
Problem is, I don't know what to do with it now. I'm gonna be like, Ozo, look, this is the thing that was under the floor. Is the ghost still? Oh gosh, what was the name? Arabelle? It's not Arabelle. Which ghost was Ozo talking to again?
Urabelle.
No, Ozo has been calling out to Zorn most recently.
I might just... I don't really know what to do here, but I'm about to die, so... I might just say, Zorn, what is this? Is this responsible in some way for the fate of your friends?
Did you pick up the bell, or did you leave it on the pillow?
I don't touch it with my hands.
So it's still in the pillow. Okay, great.
I could try to pick it up with the tip of my dagger, perhaps.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Would you like to kill me now or later?
I'm just asking if you're picking up the bell with your object interaction or not.
Sure, why not? Well,
Great.
Actually, should I wait and hear the response from Zorn?
He'll be able to respond on his turn.
Lost the torn order. He's a ways away. He's down at 9.
Yes or no, are you picking up the bell?
With the dagger, yeah.
Okay, you flick it over and kind of pull up. The silvery bell is now on the dagger. Looking at it real quickly, you can see now in the light, it is carved or kind of like bas-reliefed with all sorts of images of like spirits and undead things circling like gravestones, like all the way around it. Images of undead figures. All right, next up is Ozo, who takes the dodge action and is shadowy and indistinct. Andra, over to you. Lunine, you're on deck.
Oh, hey. Over to me, huh?
Yep.
He's holding the bell?
On the tip of a dagger, yeah. So, like,
Cool.
dagger and this bell is hanging down. It almost hits the hilt of the dagger.
Cool. Did I see him get punched?
Yeah, you saw him go like, ooh, and be owie.
But like, I didn't see where that happened or anything, right?
Just like during his movement at one point, it looked like ow.
Cool. I would like to the bar and the floorboards are all very clean, right?
The bar is exceptionally clean, yes, and the floor is clean of like dust, yeah.
Cool. I would like to prestidigitate a handful of dust and blow it over at towards this space that he just walked through.
Sure. Sure.
Just to...
You prestidigitate a bunch of dust, and you watch as it lands on the ground.
Cool. I have kind of fuck all else to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to stand there and go, now what?
Okay. Lunine, over to you.
Don't let me die.
I can't help you.
Alright. Since I see nobody actively attacking said spooky ghost, I'm just gonna hold my action. So if he makes any sort of hostile move, I swing.
On this guy, on Zorn.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Next up is Zorn. Zorn looks over towards Corvus and kind of floats down a little bit. Says, "Yeah, that's probably the cause of it all. Very sad, really." And it looks like his eyes are growing like sharper and like he's becoming more substantial. Kind of as his friends have been defeated, it seems like something going on. Next up, yeah. The bell lifts off of your dagger and goes flying over here.
That's not weird at all.
Selenar, I'm going to need you to put that light source over there.
Yeah, let me find a bell here real quick. Do. Bell. Hey. Oh, maybe not. Come on, bell. Wow. Huh.
No bell for you.
There we go. There's the bell.
That's a big bill.
There we go.
It's not really that big.
I don't see a bell.
That's okay. You don't need to see a bell.
No, I'm hiding behind the bar.
Some people can see the bell. Selenar, it is over to you. What would you like to do, Selenar?
Two questions. This did I notice the ghost attack Corvus as he moved by? Because I don't see any other enemies here.
Yeah. When Corvus ran by you, at some point in his travels, it looks like he got punched by something. Like, between you and where he is now, somewhere along the way, he got punched or hit by something.
Okay.
And there's a pile of dust next to you where there's nobody.
Yeah, there's a pile of dust lying here from Andra.
Then I'm gonna move. Why can't I move myself? I'm trying to move into this square. And then I would like... I should be able to move myself, shouldn't I? Or am I making that up?
No, you should absolutely
You should.
be able to.
I got it.
Okay, great.
So I'm essentially retreating from the ghostly square
Okay.
while I am also moving the flaming sphere into said square.
Great.
Attempting to expose the whatever.
Great. And where are you moving it to? And what is the path you are moving it there?
Essentially the square that is the corner of the bar. So wherever Corvus got attacked from, I am making a guess as to where the attacker might be and trying to move the sphere there.
Okay. Oh, I was going
I'm
to
happy
give
to...
you control of this. Yeah, let me give you control of this real quick. Do. Let's see. Here you go. Great. You should be able to control the flaming sphere now.
Yep.
So you can hit Q along your path, and that'll like let you know where you turn it.
Do you see this?
No.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, great. Very cool. All right.
And let me see, how far can I move that thing? Yeah.
I think it's either 30 or 60 feet.
When you move, blah blah blah. 30. So I'm alright, and then so that was 25, and then I'll just bring it back. So I'm essentially just
Swirling
bringing
it
it forward and then swirling it around in the area that the dude might have attacked Corvus.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an attack roll. Or it's a saving throw, right?
Yes. If it hits them...
They are dead.
If you ram the sphere into a creature, that creature must make the saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving for the turn.
Great. Cool. So go ahead, roll your damage. All right. Indeed, moving it around, it does seem like the sphere does hit something. And before it can go spinning around the bar, it stops where it is right now, actually.
Attack there!
There's something there next to the sphere. That's all I can do.
Okay, great. Next up, back to Corvus.
Oh, geez, already?
Yep.
I cannot see the bell any longer.
Yeah, it just went floating up, flying, and like flew off, and you heard it like either hit the ground or you heard whatever ring it was kind of fall off somewhere over in the distance.
I have no idea what to do or expect other than chase the ring, but I might need my lantern for this at this point. So I suppose I should take out the hooded lantern. It doesn't have
Okay.
to be very bright, most likely.
Cool. So what are you going to set it to?
25% brightness. Let's do 50.
Okay, how
27%.
so how much light does that emit?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because I think you essentially have a high and a low, which I think is like 5 feet, and then like 30 feet or something like that.
Oh yes, that sounds right.
It's a hooded lantern.
And cast bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for additional 30. So I guess if I did, as an action, you can lower the hood. Oh, I guess I need to start bright and then I can lower it. Do something like
I will let you start dim. So.
But the dim, it gives me a 5-foot radius, so that's pretty big difference from 30.
Yeah.
So let's start with 30. The
Okay,
5
great.
doesn't help me yet.
Great.
If you and I want to create a world where there's something in between, we'll figure that out later.
I think right now you have a high and a low setting. So. But that's your action to take out the lantern and light it up and set it up. But now you should be able to see everything. You are holding a lantern.
No.
Do I immediately see the ring?
Does it?
The
I'm neat in the
bell?
way.
Does it?
I guess if I don't see it, I don't see it.
Yeah. If you don't see it, you don't see it.
I'm going to take a step over this way. I see it. I'm going to take... $25. I'm unclear if I should be close to this.
It's a tiny bell. You can occupy its space.
Okay. It just moved and then landed on the ground.
Yep.
Unclear if it
Like it was picked up and flung.
by something.
Well, or its own impetus. You don't know. It like left the tip of your dagger and flew off over here, and now it's laying on the floor.
Could I? I'm so grasping at straws here. My brain is so mush from this fucking show. Anyway, could I possibly pin it down with my dagger?
So it is a metal bell. It doesn't have like anything
Does it
to.
have like a ring or a loop, or it's just got like a handle or something?
I guess it would have a loop, yeah, but it's like bigger than your dagger, or your dagger is bigger than the loop. Like the loop looks like it's like to like put a ribbon or something through.
What if I tie a string to it?
If you want to use your action next turn to tie a string to it, you can.
I don't know why it's flying away.
No, you don't.
Step on it.
Or if I drive a python through it.
Just grab it, YOLO.
I know, right? I'm like, is this the day Corvus dies? I will come back as a cleric and haunt you, Andra.
Cool.
What are you doing? You've got a bell at your feet. You've got a bell 5 feet away from you. On the ground.
I also have a bell in my pocket. Can I? Sleight of hand, switch the bell.
Yeah, if you want to move over and occupy the space, you can try that.
Sure, no idea what this is going to do, but I'm going to wrap it up in like part of my
Great.
cloak, I guess, if I can.
You're carrying another bell.
Great. Make a sleight of hand check.
This is crazy.
19. Pretty good. You deftly pull a little jingle bell out of your pocket and put it on the ground while picking up the other bell, which is 3 times the size, because remember, this is an 8-inch bell.
Oh, I didn't know that, did I?
You knew how big it was, but
Oh, I did. I
the
didn't know what my bell was, I guess.
yeah, you had a small little pocket bell. So this bell is easily 3 times the size. And once you have it in your hand, it feels cold to the touch. Like it feels cold, and you can see that as you are holding it in your hand. Give me a quick perception check, if you'd be so kind.
I turned into a ghost.
Cool. So as you turn it around in your hand, now that you have your lantern out, you can see that it has like 5 or maybe 6 undead figures in total, kind of are the dominant figures. And you can see that 3 of them have like auras that are glowing subtly on the bell, like around them. 2 of the other ones have little like pinpoints of light on the eyes of the carvings.
Seems bad.
Does seem bad. Does it seem to correlate to the number of ghosts that we've encountered in this room tonight?
There were 5 kindred spirits on that statue, and you know you've defeated 3 of them. That's what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good turn.
Great. I should put it in something that's not my hand, I guess.
It doesn't appear to be affecting you in any way. It just feels cold.
Definitely playing with fire. Okay, I guess I'll pick up the Tinkle Bell as a free action because that was silly.
Well, you've already used that.
Okay.
So you're out of
I'll
stuff.
pick it up.
It's just on the floor. Ozo once again takes the dodge action. Andra, over to you. Lunine, you're on deck.
Oh, geez. Cool. Now that it's real bright in this room, I'm gonna look around and don't really see anything happening. As far as I know, a flaming sphere came up and stopped, but that's what the flaming sphere does.
I mean, Selenar shouted that it hit something, and you saw it hit, and you didn't see it hit anything, but you saw it stop in its movement very abruptly.
Okay, cool. Then I guess I will... Do I mean that? I don't think I mean that.
And I will just say, you can always, like, if you think an invisible creature is somewhere, you can pick a square and say, like, I attack that square in the hopes of hitting someone.
Sure.
It just makes the attack a disadvantage, that's all.
Right. Doesn't say I have to see it. Sure. I'm going to attempt to chill touch right here in this space between the flaming sphere and Ozo. where it looked like it was headed for them and then stopped.
This one or this one?
This one.
So the one directly north of the flaming sphere.
The one directly above where it is now, yeah. The one it was headed toward where it went boop.
Cool. All right, so that's a 22 because it's a disadvantage.
Sure.
And you see your hand reach through, and you see it look like it grabs something. But you don't hear any effect. Like, it doesn't feel like the spell did anything, but you feel like it did touch something.
Cool. The hand clings to the target until the start of my next turn.
Okay, great. So you see this spectral hand kind of gripping an empty space.
And if it is undead, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me.
Great.
Not that it's attacking me.
Cool. Anything
But,
else?
Nah.
Wonderful.
Duck back down behind this bar.
All right, Lunine, we're over to you. You see this spectral hand next to the flaming sphere just kind of gripping onto nothing. In this space right next to you.
I swing at the hand.
Okay, make an attack at disadvantage.
Or like where it's gripping.
Yeah. In the space with the hand.
No? Okay, we're still not.
Why does it hate you so much?
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yes. Alright, so 17.
I tried that with my brain. It worked.
A 17 will hit. Go ahead, roll damage.
9.
9 total.
Mhm.
All right. You feel some resistance as your sword slashes through the air. You know you've hit something, and you hear a oof.
Double down.
Yeah, make that bonus action attack.
16.
16 will also hit. Go ahead, roll damage.
8.
Very nice. You hear another ugh. Very good. Are you going to stay where you are?
Yes.
Right. Next up, you see you see Zorn look over to the space you just attacked and say, "I'm sorry, Urabel. It's gone on too long. It's all my fault. It's time." And you just hear a screaming howl of rage in response. And you feel something punch at you, Lunine. That is an 18 to hit.
Yep.
For 10 force damage, and you feel like you were punched from just north of you.
Okay.
Selenar. Over to you.
So there's a force hand grabbing something in this square, right?
The hand,
Skeletal hand.
the hand seems to have moved because it doesn't restrict movement, right?
No.
Yeah.
It clings to it.
Yeah. So the hand kind of like moved over here and is now gripping nothing over here.
Over where? I don't see your cursor.
You see the ping? It's due north of
No.
Lunine.
I do not see the ping.
Weird. Oh, because I was on the wrong layer. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Was it control? Oh, shift lets me measure.
Yeah, if you click the little measuring token, or the measuring tool. And if you hit
This
Q, you can
fireplace
add a
is-
little stuff.
The fireplace is floor to ceiling, right?
Correct.
but the thing in front of it is not. Like there's a stone thing in front of it that I can see over.
Well, yeah, that's the hearth, but it's the fireplace.
Is the hearth? What I want to do is move the sphere over the hearth, and then come down on top of him. Is there enough space to do that in that square? Vertical space.
It's a 5-foot sphere, right? So no, because the hearth is at like, neck level, and then it's only got like 3 or 4 feet to the ceiling. Because remember, all the ceilings are only 8 feet tall.
Yep. Well, damn. And moving between Lunine and the hearth is not possible, presumably.
Yeah, not for a 5-foot ball of flame, unless you want to catch Lunine on fire, which maybe you do.
He said you're beneath him.
I will point out that Zorn here is a floating ghost.
It's insubstantial.
He hasn't been overtly aggressive, but
Yeah, but he hasn't. I've been hitting ghosts with my flaming sphere, so I don't want to. I don't think he's.
We did learn last week that different ghosts apparently have different resist high.
Yeah.
Selenar does not believe that he is hostile, so I'm trying. Basically, I don't have a great action. I'm going to move the flaming sphere to 10. I have just enough movement on it to bring it around the hearth and left.
Yeah.
To here. Let me measure that again. 10. Oh no, I do have enough to bring it around the back and try to hit him from the back.
All right.
So I attempt to bring it into this square from behind the hearth by going around everyone.
Great. Go ahead, roll damage. Yeah, he rolled a 5. So as you roll it over towards that square, the flaming sphere hits something solid, and you see the sphere kind of roil over a short, like small-sized humanoid form, and it just screams out, "No, it was gonna be awesome!" And Urabel is no more. I'll show you all his fun little
Aw, so sad, Urabel.
token. Yeah. He's just a fun little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's dead again.
He is very much dead. And he discorporeates and is dead. Or
what does the bell do?
Or read it. As you are holding the bell, you see that one of the figures, the lights go out of the eyes, and a little aura appears around the figure.
So the eyes are life. Copy that. Well, quotation mark life.
Next thing that happens, Selenar, right next to you, a figure bursts through the door as Renata, who you've been...
We were just talking about this.
Renata bursts through the door slams shut immediately behind you, and you burst in, you'd be like, what do? You had previously been having a meeting of some kind, which we can get into later, but you knew your friends were coming here, and so you were looking for them, and then you heard the sounds of battle, and you saw neighbors being like, oh, it's happening again, and you knew from Corvus's story early that morning that it was probably a deadly conflict. And so you rushed through the door, and you burst onto the scene as it slams shut behind you. And this is what you see around you. What would you like to do?
Hold the door. Oh.
And I burst in all macho style and say, "Fear not, friends. I have come to rescue you at your darkest hour." And I just like hit a note on the guitar.
Okay. And
We-
do you do anything?
Do we all get inspiration from that?
I mean, let's see. Based on what I see, I just see this ghost here. That's it.
Yeah, you see a half elf ghost who looks very, very dapper and very well manicured with a long flowing robe and coat action going on.
He looks like a very displaced Elrond or something. Yeah. Do I have any movement left?
Yeah, you've got half your movement left.
Half my movement. Okay, so I will go right here next to Selenar, and I will cast my true and faithful Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay, go for it.
21 to hit.
Yeah,
5 force damage.
yeah, that will absolutely hit. And your little note becomes visible and turns into a star and goes flying into the ghost for 5 points of force damage. And the ghost turns to you and goes, "Who are you?"
He announced himself.
Were you not paying attention?
Corvus, we're over to you. You are holding this bell in your hand. It feels cold, and 4 of the figures have like a ghostly aura wisp around them.
How many? Oh, so there's one that it does not have a ghostly or wisp. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're looking at him, presumably.
Zorn, what does this mean? Why is this still? I don't even know what I'm gonna say, honestly. What have you done, and what does this spell mean? Now's your chance to tell me.
And with that, we're going to drop initiative.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I had to give Renata an entrance.
Thank
Mike,
you.
I'm kind of sorry to say that it took us like 3 rounds before we were like, yeah, Renata's not doing anything.
Look, he would appear in a D4 minus 1 rounds. He rolled a 3, so that was 2 rounds. And he rolled a 20, which was the highest initiative. So he burst in to start the round.
Very
I
cool.
see.
Nice.
Great. So, you ask this question, Corvus, and Zorn's eyes kind of come more into focus, and he's like, that's what kept us here. I'm sorry, I didn't know what it would do. When
Wait. Oh, go ahead.
we found it on a mission and didn't think anything of it. I thought it was cool and interesting, but I thought the others would think it was dangerous, so I secreted it away for years. Kind of forgot about it, honestly. And then on the night when we all were attacked and died, our souls had become bonded to the bell, bound to it forever. Or at least as far as I know. And because I was the one who had carried the burden, the secret, I had bound all my friends in my arrogance and my ignorance. As they manifested, I lost bits of myself to keep them here. And as you defeated them, I regained my sense of purpose and self. I'm very sorry. I just loved my friends and wanted them to stay with me and keep having fun and adventuring. I didn't know it would bind us here. I didn't know that we'd hurt anything or anybody. That was not who my friends were in life. They weren't always the most noble. We weren't, but we always tried to do what was the best that we could.
Is there a way to free you, release your spirits from the spell? Give your friends the rest that they deserve. There's still a great memory of them in this town.
I think so. I think if there was a way to bring the bell to effigies of my friends, to lay it to rest with us, I think our spirits would exit the bell to a more faithful likeness, but I don't know of any such thing.
If you let us leave, we will try to find a solution for this.
Do you think you can find or have constructed effigies of my friends?
I'll certainly try. What? What are you saying?
Nothing.
like, what?
Andra has
What?
no idea.
Andra's shaking their hands behind the bar. You want a drink?
Andra has no idea.
If anything's still there, you're welcome to it. I am sorry, I didn't mean to trap you here. I didn't know I was doing it. It's part of the bell. When it is split and carrying up to 6 souls, it creates a bit of a sanctuary, a hallowed area, and keeps out creatures that are dangerous. Because it creates undead, it automatically protects against celestials. The bell is ancient and made for unknown purposes. I don't know all of its secrets, but I know that it is unlike most items that I encountered in my life. It's I guess the best way to describe it is it's a long-term attunement, I guess. You know how you have to get to know certain magical weapons and that kind of thing? This is like that, but over a period of months, years, slowly your soul becomes attuned to it. Whoever knows about it the most, whoever is most aware of its presence or has held it the longest. And then those closest to them also become bound. In its history, I believe it has kept families together after life, or close friends like mine. It is a prison that I believe was constructed out of love. At least that's what I like to think. But now that I'm the only one manifesting from the bell, I have my sense of self back.
Is this why you hid it under the floorboard?
I hid it because I thought my friends would think it dangerous and probably try to sell it. I thought it was really cool. I didn't know that on the night we were attacked, well, I didn't know we were going to be attacked either. But I didn't know that on that night we would end up bound to the bell.
Do you know anything about the attack that killed you that night?
Oh yes, we made powerful enemies in our time alive. Some of them extraplanar. Imagine a fusion of a demon or a devil, perhaps, and an unspeakable monstrosity, something beyond the understanding of anyone on this plane. Tendrils and tentacles of fire and ash. An entity we had thwarted in our time. It found a way to come through and strike out of each of us as we slept. I think it desired to feast upon our very beings, our essence, our souls. But the bell denied it its meal.
Sorry, I was trying to wait and see if he was truly done before I interrupted.
He seems like he's done.
I believe your spirits deserve rest. If you let us leave, I'm going to take this bell. In the cemetery in town, they have erected statues in your likeness. There's a plaque in honor of the fallen heroes known as the Kindred Spirits.
There is?
Perhaps we can lay you all to rest for good.
If effigies if statues of my friends exist, then that would fulfill the requirements of releasing our souls from the bell.
How did you learn about the requirements of the bell, I must ask?
Upon my death, when I became first bound to the bell, I learned how to get out. But as the souls of my friends became trapped, I lost bits and pieces of the information until
I see.
only I was manifest in the world.
I see. Corvus is going to take out a leather pouch. He's going to take out a rather large leather pouch. He's going to try to put the bell in it. If you let us go, I will go there now.
I will not keep you here. I never wanted to. None of my friends would purposefully have kept you here in life. It's the corruption of the bell and the disintegration of the spirits over the... Well, it's... I do hope you won't hold judgment too harshly in your hearts for what they did through no fault of their own. If you blame anyone, it should be me. I'm the one who caused this.
I blame no one. And I believe that you all deserve to rest with the good memory that this town holds of you for your good deeds. So I'm going to go now.
Before you do, to be freed from the bell, I must be there. I'd rather not be destroyed. If one of you would not mind sharing your body for a moment, I would be eternally grateful.
Corvus, famously bad at insight checks.
In this form, I have invaded intruders in the past, those who came searching for lost treasures and valuables upon the destruction of our home. I didn't know I could do. I didn't mean to, but I did possess them. I feel as if someone was willing, I could take a joyride, for lack of a better term, and just sort of hitch a ride without harming anything.
Me, the player, says, YOLO, what could go wrong? And I do believe in trying to find Corpus's character and his connection with the dead, that he is going to put his faith in Zorn and say, I cannot ask anyone here to do such a thing.
I understand.
If I can entrust the bell to Ozo for the travel over, you can ride, for lack of a better term, in my body to the cemetery.
Ozo walks over and puts out their hand for the bag and just kind of nods solemnly. Do you pass it off?
I'll pass it off to Ozo.
Zorn floats over to you.
I have one rule. Go ahead.
Oh, no, if you have a rule...
I have one rule in this body, Zorn. The mask stays on.
As you wish. I thank you. I'm sorry, I don't even know your name.
Corvus. You can call me Corvus.
Corvus. Thank you for helping my friends and me. I don't know how else to convey my appreciation and gratitude to you. Well, maybe. Maybe by the time we get to the graveyard, I will have an answer and have thought of something. And Zorn extends his hand out to you.
Okay, I'll touch his hand.
As you grasp his hand, he grasps yours, and for a moment you feel something solid against your wrist, and then his form begins to pull inside of you, and you feel a strange sense of division in your body. For just the briefest moment, there's a fight for control, but because you did this willingly, Zorn is giving you the control of your body, but you feel full, more aware of yourself. You feel as though your body is beginning to shift and your features change to accommodate the passenger you have within you in a strange way. Almost as if your very form is changing or shifting. Nobody else can see this because you're masked and hooded, but you feel like your body is like, you know how like when you flex after a really good gym pump, you feel like your biceps like 3 times as big. It's kind of that sort of idea. And for that briefest of moments, you feel something extra inside of your mind, and you just feel a sense of gratitude and contentment, and strangely of like anticipation and mixed with resignation.
Okay. Now, do I still have enough, like, is this me controlling Corvus? Like, I'm saying, all right, come on, we're going for this walk now?
Yeah, you have full control of your body. You just are aware that there is someone else inside of you as well. And you feel like they could attempt to wrest control, but they are opting and choosing specifically not to.
Good deal. Just wait till they check out my wisdom score, and then they'll think twice. Steel trap.
Towards the end of this conversation, Selenar walks over and tries the door.
The door opens and unlocks. No problem.
All right, Corvus nods and heads to the door. Says, I know the way.
Ender climbs over the bar, despite the fact that she could probably walk around it, but she climbs over it anyway to go to the door, because that's how she got where she is she dove over the bar, so now she's climbing back over it.
Okay. Yeah, you all leave.
I want to go look at the hatch again.
Okay. You head over to the hatch beyond the bar.
You're trying to get some whiskey, aren't you?
I don't know what's down there. People said there was treasure here.
You head over to the bar. The hatch is there on the ground. Are you lifting it open?
Mhm.
It just lifts open. And you see a set of stone stairs, or wooden stairs actually, or no, they would be stone, that descend down into a basement level. It's dark.
I go down.
Okay. You go down, and it's not exceptionally large. It seems like there's the stairwell down, and then there's like a kind of storage area where there's like busted open crates that are kind of like rotted and old looking and dust covered, and like some old kegs that are probably dusty, and who knows what may or may not be inside of there. There's also it looks like there's another room behind like a moth-eaten curtain over to the left, and it looks like a little alcove or something back beyond the underside of the staircase.
I'll go check the curtain first.
What you see is like an old like lodger's room or like a storage closet that has a bed in it of some kind. And inside of that, there's a little like mound of earth, like a little garden inside here. It seems to be full of strangely colored mushrooms. And in amongst the mushrooms, there is a stone that seems to have engravings on it.
And I assume it's too dark to read the engravings.
Yeah, you would need a light source. But you can see that there's some sort of etching in there.
Alright. Alright, what about the little alcove?
Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of like old straw here, like a nest of some kind, but long since abandoned.
Oh. Poor kobold. Alright, I'll go back upstairs. That was my character's old bedroom.
I know. I was like, well, I didn't know that specifically, but I knew that you would know anything about this house.
Cool. So you go back up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lunine rejoins you all, and you can head off to the cemetery.
And away we go.
Yeah, you make your way over to the cemetery. Corvus, you know exactly where you're heading, so you are able to make your way that direction over towards the monument, as it were, the statues to the Kindred Spirits. It seems like there's a couple of like folded up like pieces of parchment left there, and a couple of old like flowers, and like it seems like there's not a huge offering today, but it seems like within the past week there have been a few that have kind of come by, and like there's an open note that just kind of says thank you in common written on it. So it seems like while
dark?
Sorry?
Is it dark?
No, it's daytime.
Okay.
So the lighting system here is active.
Okay.
Which does run through the graveyard, through the monument section. Because once again, it's more like mausoleums than like dig in the ground graves. Like it's not like that. So it's like stone mausoleums, kind of like imagine like New Orleans, how everything's above ground because it's so wet below ground. It's kind of that deal, except it's all stone.
It also sounds like it'd be a lot more work to dig out instead of just build up.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, you find it pretty easy, and there you see that kind of bust of each of the 5 figures. You see the bust of the half-elven Zorn Fellowgood, the halfling named only Uribel. You see the half-elf named Fenya Oldera. And you see that gnome warrior, Shim Swingblade. And then you see that lizard folk woman, Brevet Alskar.
When I get to
Street racing.
yeah, welcome to Upper Steinway. Great falafel though. When I get to each of the effigies, should have eaten that instead of dim sum. I'm just kidding.
Now I'm hungry.
I'm going to reach in my bag. I have also taken the bell that I dropped in there. I hope I just realized.
Yeah, I assume you grabbed your stuff.
I have, as fate would have it, 5 candles.
Okay.
And I'm going to take out a candle in my tinderbox, and I'm going to just say to Zorn, but out loud, may I? And I'm going to light the first candle, and I'm going to place one under each of the bust statues.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to say, you may have to guide me here, and I'm going to ask Ozo for the bell.
Ozo hands over the bell, and you hear responding out of your mouth, but in a voice not your own. Since we are here, if you ring the bell 3 times, we should be able to depart.
Okay, Corvus will take the bell out of the bag.
It is once again cold to the touch.
We'll ring it 3 times.
Yep. So you hold
In
it
his mind,
and ding, ding, ding.
He's thinking of, truly like peace for these spirits.
Yeah. You ring the bell 3 times, and the wispiness, those wispy auras around the 4 figures in the bell begin to glow, and slowly this kind of spectral miasma begins to merge from the bell. 4 distinct lines. One flows into the effigy of Brevet. One flows into the effigy of Shim, Urabel, and Fenya. And then the one that has the glowing eyes, you see the eyes fade as you see Zorn's body or form step out of yours. And you feel a little cold and tired after he exits you. But he looks at your assembled groupage and smiles very charmingly, actually. It looks like now that he's not scary and he's more himself, he's a very handsome, well-looking, charming individual. And he smiles at all of you. Thank you. You've truly been the saviors of the fallen kindred spirits today. I really appreciate it. And if you look under Leaf's stone, I think you'll find some things that you might like. It took me a while to remember where it was, but
Leaf's stone?
yeah, and as he begins to explain, that miasma pulls him into his effigy, and you see the eyes of the effigies each glow now. And there's a very slight, quick little flash. And each of you swears that for a moment, above each statue, it's a bust, but above each bust, you see in full life form these 5 glorious, heroic figures as they were in life, and in an instant they are gone. And Corvus, you feel a sense of spirits having departed this world for whatever adventures might lay beyond.
Now they're together. Corvus will turn around, look at his group, and say, I think we're done here. We should go back and check out the house. No idea what this leaf stone is, but admittedly I didn't really investigate too far.
I think I know where it is.
I'm gonna look around and see if there are any of the other monuments around us are labeled leaf.
Make an investigation check.
Lunine's already walking towards the house.
I'm going
I
to
don't
trust
care.
Lunine on this one.
16.
You don't see anything labeled leaf in the immediate vicinity.
I will also-
Lunine is
oh.
marching away.
I will follow Lunine.
I guess we go with him.
Lunine seems to know where he is going.
He does, and I have a good feeling it must be in the house, as the ghost didn't know about the effigies.
Fair.
So once again, you return to Kindred Spirits. The door is swung wide open from when you last left.
Are you still carrying this bell, Corvus?
Oh God, what would I have done with the bell?
Just leave it on the ground for anyone who happens by.
No, I think that's a bad idea.
Could possibly
I
go wrong.
kept it, but I need to get rid of it. That is my thought. Or bury it or something.
Okay. Yeah, as you return to the house, you see that there's a couple of people kind of like gathering and like not like close to the house, but like in the general vicinity and kind of chattering about having heard more strange noises.
Hi, it's us. We're the strange noises.
Everything is fine. Sorry, we were doing some repairs.
Are you opening the bar again?
We'll see. Maybe in time. This was more of a inspection to see, to assess the damages.
Make a persuasion check. Or deception, your choice. Well. All right, with an 18. I hope it meets up to snuff, because it was a good place back in the day. Clientele was proper, and the last owners, they were weird, but they were a hoot.
Yeah, well, have a good day. We'll, yeah, you'll see signs posted. I'm going inside now.
Yeah, you just back in.
Is it still
So,
on fire?
Is what?
oh God, did we leave the burning ball of fire behind?
Is the room still on fire?
No,
No.
no,
It's just
that
burned a hole.
it
straight
only
through the-
lasts 1 minute anyway. So
okay.
I deleted it halfway through your long conversation with the guy.
Oh, good.
Right, but
Um,
we had set a table and the wall on fire in the process.
They smoldered out.
Okay, good.
That's fine.
The house is impervious to fire damage, even from that of a demon.
It's a lie.
Would you, Lunine, you seem to be sure of where this leaf stone may be. Would you learn something when you went down to the cellar?
There's a giant rock on top of a pile of dirt with some weird mushrooms.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
what?
Let's go have a look.
There was a rock on a pile of dirt with some strange mushrooms.
That's what I thought you said.
Let's go down to the cellar.
Yeah, Lunine leads you down, and you find with a lantern
Pitch
now.
darkness.
I have a lantern. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It is
Yeah.
maximum
Dancing light.
brightness.
Yeah, full bright lantern.
100%.
You see down here it is still dusty and whatever, and you follow Lunine through the kind of dusty, ratty, moth-eaten curtain, and you find like a 5-foot bed of dirt that's here, and there's like some orange and purple mushrooms that are growing out of this dirt, but set in the midst of it is a stone about this big, and carved on it is in remembrance of Leaf, so no one forgets.
May
Cool.
I take a peek
They
underneath?
put bodies
Very
in their
good.
basement, guys.
With like, I will treat the stone with some. I don't know, gravitas is not the right word, but like
Reverence.
reverence. Thank you. And gently place it aside and look underneath.
Just underneath, you see dirt.
I would like to collect some mushrooms.
Yeah, you can collect the mushrooms.
Is there? Let me see what I have. I have a crowbar. I don't really have anything to dig with. Is the
You
dirt
have
soft enough?
hands, don't you?
It's warm down here. It's like warm and damp, so it's like perfect for
nice.
mushroom growing. So the soil appears by the light to be like soft and squishy.
I'll place down the lantern and try to dig a bit with my hands in the squishy dirt.
Yeah, you brush about like 4 inches of like dirt off from under where the stone was, and soon enough you reveal a small chest.
I'd like to see if I can open the chest.
Yeah, you pull it out, wipe some dirt off. It's a little lockbox. It is locked.
I would like to unlock it.
Make a thieves'
If I
tool
may.
check.
With reverence.
With irreverence.
No. I'm an honorable thief. I was told to steal this.
Steal.
22.
Yeah, with a 22, you easily click, open it up, and inside you find a pile of gold and silver, and there's a little note on top that says Zorn's Rainy Day Fund. And there's also a ring inside.
May I pick up those items?
Yep.
And I think we have been sort of leaving, if in lieu of a better treasurer, no offense, Mike, I think, has been handling the money.
Give it to me.
Yeah, inside you find 300 gold pieces,
Ooh.
200 silver
Sorry.
pieces, and
Oh
a gold ring that has a weird kind of signet on it. It looks kind of like a carved brain.
Okay.
May I see that ring?
Yeah, so I believe you can identify certain things. I don't want to stand here for 10 minutes, though, if you don't mind.
Too bad.
Well, I'll see you at the end.
We can either stand here or we can take it with us and stand somewhere else for 10 minutes, but either way, it
Could
takes
stand here
10
for 10 minutes and we could look around the rest of the house, perhaps.
Sure.
Not necessarily to steal anything, but I don't know where my morals lie in that.
Then I'll take the signet ring with me.
Okay.
And at some point I'll identify it, but apparently not now because my companions are impatient.
I think it's okay to cast a spell every now and then. I am
It is
impatient.
only a ritual.
I don't believe. Oh, is it only a ritual?
Yes.
Oh.
If you have the spell, you can cast
If I
it.
prepared it. If I
Oh.
prepared it as a non-ritual, I could, but I have not.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have that many. Don't get to prepare
don't have that many spell slots. That's fair.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, we could look around the house. I kind of have thoughts that I suppose if we don't take the things left behind, then perhaps someone else will. But I don't know how my companions might feel about that.
It's up to you.
The dead don't need it.
No.
Let's take a look around.
All right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Great. As you all begin investigating around, we're going to take a short 5-minute break because that's a good spot to do so. Great. So we'll come back to find what you may or may not discover here in the ruins of Kindred Spirits after this short rest. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, NYC Zom, for resubscribing. And we'll be back after this short rest. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thanks for waiting while we took a short break. Hope you're all having fun. Appreciate your lurking this evening. Our regular moderator, Ives Got It. Unfortunately, he's away for work, so can't be with us this evening. But we love and miss him and appreciate him regardless. So thank you, Ives Got It.
Unusual.
Hey, it is, but you know, it happens sometimes.
That's
But
the first one he's ever missed.
yeah, it is. But
Yeah,
he is loved and missed and appreciated nonetheless.
totally.
I
No
do
wonder
not
we've
like
got
this
funny-
world that we. I'm sorry. I don't like this world that we live in right now.
Well, who does?
Everything's on fire.
You
That's
could
true.
hold the bell.
I've got it. He was a constant in my life. He held things together, and if he's not here, then
Who's
here
got it?
for me?
If
Who's
he's not
got
here,
it?
who's got it?
Who's got it? Exactly?
Yeah, fair questions. Right,
I
so
wonder if encountered no graffiti on this.
coming back into where we left off, you had all begun exploring the Kindred Spirits tavern. What you find in the basement, you don't find anything else more interesting. The casks and crates down here have either been broken into and emptied or were empty before the end of all things. There's a bed of like unused or old straw down on the floor here that looks as though someone used to like sleep there, but it has long since been abandoned.
We should put the leaf rock back.
Yeah, you can replace the leaf
That's a
stone.
good idea.
Very appreciated.
You go back to ritualing. Or just
You don't find anything of value on the tavern floor. It seems to have long ago been either picked clean by scavengers or whatever.
he
What
did
about
sort of.
upstairs?
I'm about to say he did sort of generally say if we found anything, we could take it. I don't know if he meant
Yeah.
only whiskey or not, but
What
Uh,
about upstairs?
Yeah, so this around back there are stairs that lead up to the second floor. They are broken and damaged, and require a bit of skill to climb. But working together, you can all kind of get up there. Corvus had been up here previously, and kind of like taken a look inside and just not been able to see anything through a little window through the doorway, which is still the case. It seems as though whatever's on the other side of the window pane is not allowing you to see through it.
I take the pummel of my short sword and I break the glass.
that's one way to do it.
Okay, you break the glass. It's just little. It's not like a full window. It's just like the little panes at the top of a door, but you can break them.
That's fine. Can I see through them?
Yeah. What you see is, for lack of better terminology, a decimation. You see a blackened, scorched earth ruin of a room that seems to have at one point been like a meeting area. Remnants of like charred, curled carpets, and a table that half of it has turned to ash and fallen to the ground in a big pile of smoldering wreckage. It looks like something horrible happened here.
Well, that's rather depressing, but suppose it.
I guess we know what occurred the night of their
What
deaths.
does? What's kind of depressing? Andra's kind of like behind all the taller people, being like, "I can't see, I can't see."
Oh, get the child out of here.
Corvus will step out of the way.
Well,
and say,
like, so only like one or two people can be like at that level at a time. It's not like a big porch landing. It's literally just broken stairs that go up to this. There, so like if
Open the door.
yeah.
wait, aren't you casting Identify?
No, I'm just carrying around the signet ring until I. Have
Oh,
time to
I thought we
cast.
were searching the house so you could like do it in the
Yeah, we were
time.
doing this while you were casting Identify.
Oh no, I just took the ring with me because you said do it later, so I'm carrying it around to do it later.
We didn't say anything definitive, and then we said we're searching the house. Sorry. The idea was that the identify could happen, and we could all
Okay, fine. I'm not trying
search
to look
the
through
house
the audio
and not
windows.
waste
I'm
10 minutes
sitting-
staring at Andrew.
Well, searching the basement and the tavern floor would have given you enough time to cast identify on the ring. It is a ring. It is a ring of mind shielding.
I
Ooh.
figured.
Interesting. I don't want to be greedy, but I do think that would be quite helpful, as I have.
So here's what that does. If you look it up on D&D Beyond, you'll see it, and you can read all that information, and that is what you know, Andra, about the ring of mind shielding.
Great. Oh, there it is. All right, I currently have it.
Great.
I will think about, we can certainly talk about who wants it, but at the moment I'm carrying it.
Yeah. Do you want to tell your allies what it does?
Are they done searching the house? Oh.
They've searched
Oh.
they've searched the basement and the main floor in the time it took you to do this. So you can rejoin them and you can all go upstairs.
Gotcha. Now that I know what it does,
Mhm.
I want to put it on. It says it requires attunement.
Yep.
It doesn't say what aspects of it require attuning.
All of
I'm
it.
interested in-
Like it won't do anything until you are attuned to it, which takes an hour.
Okay, never mind. Because it in the description it says the soul in the ring can telepathically communicate with any creature wearing the ring.
If there is one in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Telepathic with the wait, communicate with the soul? Is that
As
specific?
long as your soul is in this ring, you can telepathically communicate with any creature wearing it.
But read the first part.
You must die. No, I'm just kidding.
No, if you die while wearing the ring, your soul enters it unless it already houses a soul.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you have to
Yeah,
die
no-
before your soul can enter the ring.
Yeah. No, I'm interested in putting it on and seeing if it talks to me.
Okay. So you put it on. In an hour, maybe you'll find out something.
Okay. Sure.
But like you have to spend the hour like going through
It does have to be attuned, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to put it on
Okay.
and continue following my friends around.
Cool. So if you're doing other things, you can't be attuning to the item, just so you know.
Right.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to wear it for now.
All right, cool. So Andra's wearing the ring that you all found. One by one, you can climb up the steps, get helped up, whatever, to get to the second floor. Inside, you see this decimated room with all these charred bits of like rug and furniture, and it looks like blackened streaks have like knocked over bookshelves and then burned the contents to ash. And it just looks like crazy fiery things like slapped against the walls and left burn scars all along it.
Looks like someone detonated a fireball in the middle of this room.
Sort of, but then like stuck it in a blender.
Oh dear God.
Wait, what
Bad
spell
things
is that? I need that.
No. I don't think anyone does.
Well, Nereus needs that spell.
Darius isn't here.
I don't care. I need it on a spell list.
Are there doors leaving this room?
Yeah, there's like
Other than the one we came through?
there's like a hallway and a couple of doors right here.
I'm just going to open the first one.
Yeah, you go to open the door, and as soon as you like put force on the knob like bursts through, and the door like chars away in like thin chunks because it's been so badly burned. It just hadn't had any force applied to it.
Sure.
So it just like crumbles around the doorknob that is now in your hand, which
You're
has
so strong.
stained your hand black with soot and ash.
Cool.
But inside you find a equally destroyed bedroom that looks like it was once comfortably appointed with a little It kind of look out. It's that kind of like tower room with the bay windows that was on the first floor. It's like the room right above that. And it looks like it was once a cozy, comfortable room. And on the what remains of the bed, there is a skeleton there. That seems to have kind of like a very like, at one point it was probably a very nice metallic crown that is kind of melted and seared onto the skull.
Does the crown match the depiction of anyone from the bus? I'd have to look at my notes to see if I already knew that.
It looks much like the one that Zorn used to wear, or his spirit wore.
I guess I would know that, yeah.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, huh?
Yeah, it's less of a crown and more of a headpiece, but whatever.
Can the crown be picked up, or is it like fused to the skull?
No, it's not fused, so you can pick up the ruined, and it's more of a headpiece, like it's a fashion statement, not like a crown.
Sure.
But yeah,
The metallic thing.
I think I might stop Andra and say I think some things are better left behind.
Andra's going to take her sooty fingers and like rub them on her eyelids.
great.
I think that we can maybe give Zorn some rest, even what remains of his body. I should go see if I could speak to a gravekeeper. The grave tender? I don't know what you would call them.
Alright. Should we check the other rooms?
Yeah. Let's maybe leave poor Zorn alone.
In the next room, you end up finding a room that has a lot of what looks like burnt and like knocked over and destroyed like potted plants. The plants have long since been like dehydrated and like burned or whatever, but the soil is like still there from like knocked over and broken pots, and you see the shrapnel kind of all over the place. And you find another skeleton on that bed. Looks to be of someone of elvish descent.
Wow, they all died in their beds. That's not very heroic.
Yeah.
They must have pissed somebody off.
You all heard the story that Zorn told you.
Yeah. Something really horrific did happen. And at least the town remembers them for their deeds. Not like this. I'd hate for anyone to come in here and find them if they haven't already.
I don't think anyone's been in here. These doors are disintegrating when we touch them.
It's true. I can only imagine what our little commotion tonight might stir up with the neighbors and those that are curious. Let's, I don't think we're going to find anything here other than those remains. Perhaps we should speak to someone about finding them a proper burial. And with that, I think Corvus is done with the house.
Okay.
But if before he walks away from the group, he will say, it's still daytime, right? So I'm gonna go back by the cemetery.
Yeah, by this time it's probably a little afternoon.
Okay, I'm gonna go back by the cemetery, see if I can learn anything, and I'll meet you back at the end tonight. I'm not saying you can't follow me. I'm just letting you know where I'll be. And with that, Corvus will leave.
If no one is going to stop me, Andra is going to open all the doors just to see what's in them.
Okay, is anyone going to stop her?
Corvus is gone.
It's a free world.
Cool. So down the hallway, these doors are actually open. Whether they were open beforehand or burned down, you don't know. But you find in the first room a small skeleton in a very like unadorned room with the remains of a melted dagger kind of like under where the pillow would be. In the next room, you find many bookcases that have been burned to ash, or the contents have been burned to ash, and the bookcases are like split and cracked and all charred. And a sort of and a skeleton of what looks to be a lizard-like individual, or lizard folk. And in the final room, you find something a little more interesting. This skeleton is not on the bed. You find a short, small humanoid skeleton that seems to be crumpled as though it was burned while standing up in the middle of the floor, with a sword in its grasp, and a suit of armor on like a pile that like looks like it was on an armor stand, like a armor mannequin that is burned to the ground and is covered with soot and ash, and the sword is like a little singed and blackened.
But is whole.
I mean, it seems to be whole. Yeah.
This is like the person we found that's not like just in.
Yeah, you did mention specifically the dagger was melted, so I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the sword does not appear to be melted. You don't know what that means.
Cool.
Interesting.
I walk up to it and poke it.
You poke a sword.
I will
Does
pick
it
it up.
poke back?
Okay, you pick it up. It's dirty and covered with ash and soot and blackened.
So am I at this point.
Sure.
So, just look at it. Is it like a? You said the skeleton in this room was small, so I'm assuming it's not like a great sword. It's a.
It appears to be a long sword specifically.
Okay, but something I can pick up and carry.
Yeah, like you can carry a long sword. It's like 3 or 4 feet long.
I'm gonna take it with me.
Okay. Cool. You can add a blackened longsword to your inventory, or like a charred longsword or whatever.
Long sword, check.
Hmm?
Okay. If I don't find anything else that's not, fire damage beyond all recognition.
I mean, there's that pile of armor, like armor pieces.
I will
Looks like plate mail.
look at it. I will look at it. Does it appear to be anything other than the basic?
It looks like plate armor that's fallen to the ground in a bunch of pieces.
And it's halfling sized.
It's small sized, yeah.
I have no use for this. I will rejoin my friends and tell them that there's a suit of plate mail in there for somebody short if anyone wants it. But beyond that, I found this cool sword.
Can I see that?
Sure, I will hand it to Lunine.
How does
Yeah.
it feel?
The weight feels very well balanced. It is nice. It is a weighted blade. It is you go through a few like motions. You could wield it two-handed or with a shield. It's not a light weapon or a finesse weapon, but it's a very well-made longsword.
Take it.
I can't use this.
You don't use swords?
I use short swords. I'm
yeah,
dex,
me too.
I'm not
Oh,
strength.
yeah, your dex. No one
Yeah.
can use it. Oh, that's a bummer. I thought at least of anyone, you should get something from the house.
Well, it's terribly well balanced. I'm sure you can sell it to somebody for good money.
Yeah, I can't really use it either, but it looked cool, so I figured I would take it.
Yeah, well, that's a bummer. I don't know. Yeah, nothing. Maybe I shouldn't have walked away so soon, but Corvus's plan is to like see if there's someone that might want to dispose of their bones in a proper way. I don't know what that means for the items left behind, if they could get buried alongside them, perhaps, if no one of us want them.
Well, you're not
all
there,
the other-
so.
I know.
Yeah.
Just got awkward and quiet.
If I've looked in all the rooms and have found just a charred longsword that I can walk away with, I will take the charred longsword and walk away.
Okay, yeah. What would you all like to do? Would you like to go meet up with Corvus at the back of the graveyard, or are you gonna do your own thing?
Then we'll head back to the tavern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you all head back to the tavern. I think Ozo would have gone with Corvus. That seems very in character for them. So Corvus, you return to the mausoleum, the graveyard. And looking around, you do find a little stone building off towards one of the entrances, where there is where a human man is sitting in there. Seems like he's reading a book.
Excuse me. Are you the tender of this mausoleum?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Are you looking for someone's grave?
No. I was going to inquire about burial service for someone. Do you know who I could speak to about that?
Well, do you want a religious ceremony or a secular ceremony?
I think secular will do. You don't really need a ceremony as much as a place to lay them to rest.
What form of rest would you like? Cremation, burial, disintegration?
Corvus is kind of cock his head a little bit at disintegration.
Look, it's stone, man. Like, sometimes people don't want bodies left behind. Some people write it out of their will.
Pretty sure they've already been cremated.
I think burial, if possible.
Alright. Burial's a little more costly these days. Gotta chip out the stone and everything. How many? Just one?
Okay. It'd be 5, actually.
5? Did you kill someone? Is there an epidemic I don't know about?
No. Not exactly. I believe we've discovered the remains of some victims of a horrible accident.
Okay, have you spoken to the Pikes about this?
No, perhaps I should. Can you put me in the right direction, as it were? Where would I find the Pikes?
Well, if you don't find one on patrol, which I'd be surprised about, you can always go to Pike's Point, which is their headquarters, down in Spraycatch.
Spraycatch is also. This is an aside. Spraycatch is also where the inn is located. Is that correct?
No, the inn is in the docks.
Spray
That's
catch is
right.
between here and there.
And the docks. That is on the way back. Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah, the Spraycatch is like that residential / commercial area.
Gotcha. Oh, right. That's where Calaman's lotion is, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very well. Thank you. for that information. Now, if you don't mind, I will do some passing respect paying to some graves, and I'll walk off away from the gentleman.
He just goes back to his book.
Wildly unconcerned about a pile of dead bodies somewhere.
Yeah, I guess didn't really think about how.
He seemed very nonplussed by most of your conversation.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be shocked, and how strange it may sound to be like, I'm gonna need to bury 5 people, and I promise I didn't kill him.
He didn't seem that concerned whether you had or not, to be honest.
That I appreciate. A masked stranger wearing black is like, yeah, I'm gonna need a spot for 5 bodies. Can you hook me up? On the way out of the cemetery, I think I will probably maybe tomorrow go speak with the Pikes. I'll just do one final pass past the Kindred Spirits and give them a little, moment of silence, and then head on back to the tavern. It must be getting late at this point, yeah?
It's getting close to mid-afternoon by the time you would arrive at the tavern.
I do often, in his past, spend some time in cemeteries, and it doesn't bother him. It actually feels quite at ease. So I'm not like rushing to get out of here necessarily. One of us, what I might do on the way out is even like, my little bit of bird watching I do, or if there's any. I'm pretending, or not pretending. I've sort of decided that he has a little thing that he'd like to do. That if he's picked up any trinkets or things shiny, he sort of leaves them out for maybe like a crow or something to find.
Yeah,
he might.
Cliffside being a massive underground city cave structure,
Probably not much crows, huh?
Not much in the way of aviary residents.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the last time I looked around, it was only just seagulls.
Mostly seagulls, and they're out by the scar.
That's totally fair. I do kind of forget about the whole roof thing. It'd be neat to throw birds in here. In that case, I will go back to the tavern.
All right. The group reassembles at the Ruddy Plank down in the Docks District. Real quick, Renata.
Yeah.
When the group decided to head off to the Kindred Spirits this morning, you said that you had to go have a meeting real quick and that you would meet them there.
I didn't say that. You said that for me.
That's right.
So I'm waiting for you to tell me all about this meeting.
Well, welcome to improv and D&D. When the player's not here, the DM has to make a reason for the character not to be in the fight.
What a great entrance, though. That actually worked out.
So, what was your meeting about, and who was it with?
Ooh.
Oh, what the hell, dude? You just sprayed this on me.
What? Did you go find the lore master? There was something about a lore master.
Was there?
Gatekeeper?
I don't know. No, not a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
No.
Selenar still wants to find that lore master eventually.
Sorry. It was Selenar's
Yeah, that's
lore master.
Selenar.
It wasn't Renata's.
No gatekeeper, no keymaster. Jeez.
I will remind you, in your mind state, the previous night, you were surprised that Rinny had no idea about who your manager was.
Right.
And
which I then tried to contact the manager, but
and didn't get a verbal response.
no answers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, dude, this is not cool. This meeting, was about setting up a. Oh, what's that thing called when singers do like a residency, right? I think that's what it's called, like a residency in Las Vegas. I think that's what it's called.
Correct.
Thank you. So perhaps my success the previous night and playing music, they've asked me to set up a sort of like ongoing, not a tour, but like a residency working with that bar.
Sure. So you have this meeting at the Ruddy Plank with Holland, and she is very happy for you to like stay and perform each night as you desire. She will waive your room fee for every night that you perform, provided you perform for 2 hours during the busy part of the evening. And then you get whatever tips on top of that, and your meals will be covered as well.
But is there a length of stay that's required, or just like as long as I'm in the city, I will have?
She is unwilling to commit to like a 3-month period or anything like that, because she tells you straight up she likes to change stuff out. To one, give other artists a chance, and like she likes to promote new upcoming people, and like one of the reasons her tavern is well known for entertainment is because of the variety. So she doesn't want anything to become stale. So if something's really successful, she'll let it go for like maybe a week, which is kind of pushing it for her. But then she likes to put something else in so that eventually that person could, the like big draw could come back maybe, and it would be even more of a thing.
Honestly, Renata is of the same mindset. Doesn't want to stay, definitely not more than a week. And like you said, a week might be pushing it. Renata wants to give people a sense of desire, and like the best way to do that is to like play a couple nights and then just be gone. And have them wanting more through whatever means they can get that.
Yeah, she's happy with that deal.
Perfect. Then as long as I'm here for the next couple nights, then I'll play, definitely, for the Ruddy Plank. And then I'll leave, and then we'll...
Yep, and then we'll
make business again.
Yeah, you all meet up back at the Ruddy Plank. It's about mid-afternoon. By the time you see Corvus walking in, perhaps Renata is doing a little teaser for the evening's entertainment to get some word of mouth going.
Would I have had an hour to sit down and attune to this blasted ring?
Yeah. So you can go ahead and have attuned to the Ring of Mind Shielding.
Yeah.
Nothing talks to you.
Okay. I'm just gonna wear it for a little bit and see if anything happens, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so the party has reassembled. What would you like to discuss?
What's next on our docket? Are we...
Oh, gosh, I had the
Are we
meeting tonight
going?
at the cemetery. I just realized it was today.
You're
Well,
just
that's
coming
it. I'm
and going
out.
from the cemetery.
Whoa. If I remember correctly, I believe we're supposed to make our way back down to Redstone?
Maybe I never left the cemetery if I had that meeting. I
Yeah,
don't
are
know.
you here or not?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
here or not here?
You would have had to like when you were there, it was like a little afternoon. It was like maybe like 1 or 2. So you would have had to wait for hours at the graveyard. So it made sense to regather your friends.
Okay. Lost track of time. Okay. That was definitely on my mind at the last session. Okay, so I'm here for now. I'm gonna have to go back again, I guess, get my steps in. And yeah, I'm gonna say, you asked what's next. I'm gonna say, well, I have this meeting tonight with one of my associates about what to do about the other thing that we're in town for.
Which everyone was in that alley for that discussion, remember? So
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just trying to be vague because people listened to us the first time I opened my mouth in public.
Right.
I'm hoping that everyone remembers what I'm talking about because they were in the alleyway.
I am looking at my notes.
Is there any do we have to go back to where we came from? Do we get paid already?
Oh yes, okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
I
Darren
did.
Dandyfoot, got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did pay everyone. We took a vote. You said you wanted it now. Give me the money.
Right. I do recall this now. So we've been paid, so we don't have to go back to Mandarian is where we came from?
correct.
Yes, we have to report to Cash.
No, we don't.
We were waiting to hear from the captain of the ship we came over about transport to that other place with the leaf thing.
Oh,
It came from
my note. Yeah,
the Ashlands or whatever it was called.
Ashley.
So Lunine is supposed to touch base with Captain Saltcrust over the next couple of days about some investigating he was doing for passage to the peripherals.
Shoreband.
Shorebank. Corvus has his mission and also is supposed to contact Cash, which he's been given instructions on how to do after that mission is completed.
Right.
And there's also a matter that you all agreed to let Captain Saltcrust handle turning over that pirate who you were supposed to get a cut of that bounty as well.
All right, it's a pirate. Where do we have to take the pirate?
Well, I imagine that might be the right place.
The Captain Saltcrust was taking care of that. He just was going to cut you in on the bounty.
Gotcha.
I say, do you remember taking a pirate with us?
I do remember taking the pirate.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
I just wasn't sure if we were supposed to take him. So he's taking the pirate somewhere. He's going to come back and tell us about it. Cool.
As far as you know, he made it sound like he was turning him into the authorities here.
Right.
Yes.
But that you should take a couple days and then come back and he'd give you your cut.
Right.
Correct.
I have some things I would like to gather for a ritual that I'm not going to find underground. So they're not going to. It's not useful here.
Okay. Is there anything anybody wants to do before this meeting tonight?
I want to try one of these mushrooms.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
15.
It is bitter, and you feel like you're going to throw up if you swallow it.
I'll spit it out. Bleh! These are terrible, guys.
Yeah, your tongue feels like it is covered with moss, and it feels like it's also on fire, like in an acidic way. It is.
Guys, these are terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the bar and get a drink.
Fair enough.
I have a note from one of the books I was reading that there are no remains in any of the mausoleums, but the author of Cliffside: A History did not know why, which is why I wanted to go seek out this lore master to ask questions about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do that.
If I have time to make it to the college with at least some time to spare, I would just let the group know, hey, there was some weirdness about remains and mausoleums in this city, but the author of the history book that I picked up didn't know why, so I'd like to go ask around.
Oh, maybe that'll tell us what to do with those skeletons.
That could also be tied into that for sure.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe Seal, the woman, Seal, go. Huza?
Uh, excuse you?
That's the name I have written down. Ciel Galhuza or Galhauza.
Yeah, yes, Ciel Galhusa.
Yeah, is that a woman or a...
It is a female half elf. Yes.
Yes, so perhaps she might be able to answer questions about this house that we went to for some reason that I still don't quite understand. So I'm gonna go up there and see if I can poke around a bit.
Cool.
Get in, Trick. We're going to the spooky house. That's all you need to know.
Anybody have anything else before the meeting? Okay, great.
No.
So Selenar, you make your way up to Shant College, and asking around, you easily find the office of the Master of Lore, Ciel Galusa. You are greeted by a stunningly attractive male half elf in his like mid 50s or 60s. It's kind of hard to tell, but very attractive man who asks you to wait a moment and then shows you into the office of the Master of Lore. Inside, you find a well-appointed study with books lining many cases and shelves, and like scrolls and tubes and all kinds of wild stuff, and a few like stone tablets on a couple of shelves, and a desk that is covered with books that are stacked high, and some are open, and there's like a pile of like notes on like pieces of vellum or parchment, and like weird like lenses that seem to be doing strange things. And this half-elven woman with like silver sable hair tied back in a thick plait that looks like it runs down to her past her shoulders, down her back, wearing just kind of like brown robes. They're well made, but they're not ostentatious in any way. And she's got little pince-nez half-moon spectacles. She says, "Oh, well, welcome in. Greetings. My name is Ciel Galhusa. It is a pleasure to make the acquaintance of a full-blooded elf. I haven't had the pleasure before. Please do sit, and it would be wonderful if you would tell me your name."
Well, thank you for speaking to me. My name is Selenar.
I see you, Selenar.
That's an elf thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be your reaction, because this is the first time anyone outside of the Causeway has used the proper response, as you have been raised to believe.
I see you as well. And it's been a long time since I've heard that phrase. Excuse my surprise.
She switches into Elvish. It is an honor to be greeted by someone who has traveled from the Causeway. I have made a recent study on the customs of the Causeway. I do hope that I acquaint myself with honor and without offense.
I'll reply in Elvish at every opportunity. I'm sure your studies have been nothing but thorough. My village is a little smaller than I'm sure the cities you are reading about. And I'm happy to answer any questions about life there if you are curious. But I come to ask questions about your city. It's very curious to be underground. Slightly uncomfortable, if I do say so.
Certainly understandable for one who comes from Leaf and Star. And certainly rarer still to be asked direct questions from an elf. I was not expecting such forthrightness. You must be one who has been out of touch with your home for quite a while to behave in such a manner.
It is true. And it's surprising to hear someone speak in the way of the homeland this far from it. But it reminds me of a home that I have not been to in quite some time.
Well, I hope I supply enough of a remembrance that it is fond for you. If there are services I can provide, I would be pleased to know what those might be.
I am deeply interested in the history of the other peoples outside of the Causeway. And I went to speak with a Mr. Talon who runs a bookshop in the town. I assume, gesturing at the collection of books, I assume you are familiar with him.
Yes, I have often used him to procure a volume in my time.
He had recommended a few to me, and I'll just pull them out of my bag, the 3 that I bought. And there were some holes missing that I was wondering if you could shed some light on. And my friends that are not here led us into some more dark corners of your city that I would be interested in your insight on, if you have time.
I do have a few hours to spare at this precise moment. If I can help alleviate any confusion or clouds of misunderstanding, I would happily do so.
Mateo, where is Corvus from again? I have several pages of notes. It's hard to parse through them.
Why are you gonna do me like that? Call me out. Make sure I know where I'm from. I don't know where I'm from. I'm just kidding. I almost told him where Spoot was from.
Okay, it's not if it's not super important.
Nope. Give me one moment. I want to make sure I get this right because now I've got Spoot's background in my head.
And would Selenar have known that? I assume we've all been familiarized with each other's sort of.
I'm not sure how much of his backstory he may have told you. That's up to him to decide.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I would not have. This is not me not remembering. This is me selectively denying that information to you because I haven't told you.
But you would know that you met Corvus in Mendarian.
Yes.
We have been traveling with under the direction of a unscrupulous human who is less than forthcoming with his story, if you will.
That's the nicest thing I can think of to say about him.
And he has a meeting. As shady as he has earned some trust. But he has a meeting in a mausoleum this evening, and in the books, scroll. The author, Mr. Sharprunner, does not know why there are no remains in any of the mausoleums in your city. I find it curious.
Oh, Tripp is a fascinating man, should you ever get the chance to meet him. He claims to have been at one of the most important battles of the last 30 years that no one's ever heard of. So, he's a character. But generally, his archaeological pursuits are quite interesting. Tripp did quite a bit of investigations, I aided him in some, into why the mausoleums are empty. There are noted runes in what we believe to be Dwarvish script, of course, because that is evident that those who built this city originally were of Dwarvish descent. But the mausoleums are not filled with anything. They're not even excavated for cavities to store bodies or to stow. It's almost like the name plaques are all that there were. Unfortunately, I do not speak Dwarvish, nor know of anyone who does, really. It is a skill that has been long lost since the breaking. Tripp entertained the idea that perhaps at one point there were bodies entombed within, and then through magical or mundane means, when the original inhabitants decided to leave what is now Cliffside, they took their ancestors with them. But I don't think that answers the question of to why the empty mausoleums are now filled with solid stone.
You would not hazard a guess.
If I were to hazard a guess, mind you, I am not an expert on dwarvish cultures in particular. I know what histories we've pieced together, but they are not as extensive as one might hope. But from what I understand, when a dwarven individual dies, they are often either recommitted to the forge, or they are melded with stone itself. I'm not exactly sure how or why, or if those are even true, but those seem to be what I have understood from the readings I have parsed together in my research. If you are interested here, and she goes over and grabs a book off the shelf. This is a collection of decipherings off of various ancient texts in languages other than Dwarvish, recounting events, big events in Dwarvish cultures that were visited by the onlookers. This one here, and she flips to a page, recounts a funeral for a family member of a friend of the author's. Let's see. My goblin is a little rusty, but it equates to roughly... And so the bearded dwarf woman was laid into the fire beneath the stone. And after hours of her burning into rock, her name was engraved upon a plaque and placed in a place of honor by those who loved and cared for her afterwards. Not much to go on, but...
One can infer.
Exactly.
Are there any passages in here that you can't read that I may have had some teaching back in the...
Are you...
I'm basically asking if there are... she obviously can speak Elvish, but I know Primordial is a very rare language.
If you ask her if she speaks Primordial, she answers that she does not. She speaks most languages spoken by the peoples of Johanna, but not necessarily of all the creatures.
Are there any passages in that book in Druidic or Primordial that have not been translated?
These are all sort of secondary translations. For example, this one is translated from Goblin into Common, but the original Goblin is quoted as best as can be, which, interestingly, the original Goblin is difficult to make out, but dialects and pattern shifts of language over centuries, There is one here that I don't have... I cannot confirm its translation, for I don't speak the original language. But this translation does claim that it is written in Primordial, or language Terran, I believe, which is akin to Primordial, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm happy to take a look.
By all means. And she flips the page to this entry, which the translation written in Common seems to be noting troop movements of a circle of druids who align themselves with the element of earth. And they are they seem to be mostly of an orcish culture. They reference themselves as the Circle, according to the translation. Reading the original text as it's been copied over, you see that the translation is mostly accurate, except where the translation says troops or guards. The more accurate translation would be acolytes.
Well, it is very close. This word here is more akin to an acolyte than a troop, but otherwise, this is a very good interpretation of this text.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to make note of that and perhaps see if that might change its meaning upon further research.
We're also curious if you know anything about the, and I apologize if this is a touchy subject, but there is a house in the city, formerly inhabited by a group known as the Kindred Spirits.
Yes.
And my friend Corvus led us into their home as well.
Oh.
And I'm gonna roll an insight check on this lady.
Go for
I know how much I can share.
Go for it.
How much do I trust this person? Oh, I'm not in roll 20? It's a 25. I rolled a 19.
Okay. Yeah, with a
apparently I closed the tabletop accidentally.
No worries. With a 25, you can see that she's a little confused. It appears she's confused as to why you would enter their home, but she doesn't seem to be upset necessarily. She seems intrigued as to why, where you're going with the questioning.
I just describe how we went in. I still don't quite know why we went in, and they attacked us, and we ended up freeing their spirits from the world, but I'm just curious if she knew their story, because I don't.
Oh, well, I'm sure it is good to hear that they are peacefully at rest.
They are at peace.
Well, that is for the best. As far as their story goes, they were heroes here in Cliffside up until their passing, which was a very strange thing. Neighbors reported fire and smoke, but the damage was, at least on the lower floor, not too bad. And the outside did not burn. There were no scar marks or whatever. They started as many sort of famous adventuring troops do. They did low errand work for the odd merchant and a little bit of guard duty, and eventually worked their way and had battles with some unsavory sorts, and ended up dislodging a well-known merchant who was actually trying to summon a bunch of devils to the city, and they defeated him, and then they were gone for a bit, but returned stronger than ever. I'm not sure what they were doing when they were out. They had a bit of a reputation for coming back stronger and defending the weak. They also were quite fond of drinking, so I don't know how their tavern kept in business when they were home, to be honest. But they were all quite pleasant people when they were alive. So it's
Well, that's good to hear.
sad to hear that in undeath they were aggressive.
Well, that's all in the past now.
That's good. Their memories should be preserved for what they did in life, I feel. I hope that answers questions.
It does. I'm out of character. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there was anything else I wanted to ask her.
Oh, sure. Her secretary kind of saunters in with a tray of a couple cups of tea that are steaming on it, and deposits them on her desk on top of a stack of books, and then walks out. If you would care for some tea, I am told this is not an inappropriate blend for a meeting of new friends, I hope.
I appreciate it. I will gladly accept. I have one other curiosity that I hope to not be too intrusive about. We visited the guiding light at the top of the city several days ago. A marvelous sight, to be fair.
Oh, the solarium?
Yes. The gentleman there was lovely and inviting, but we heard later that the guiding light in the solarium went out somewhat recently.
Oh, I suppose recently is relative. It was some years back, about 7 years ago. The Kindred Spirits actually recovered whatever was missing from the solarium and returned it to the keeper.
Interesting. A physical object was removed.
Well, I'm not sure if it was a physical object. I'm not sure the details. Priest Brightheart is not forthcoming about exactly what was returned, just merely that whatever was missing was replaced. And the Kindred Spirits were involved in the endeavor.
Interesting. Do you have any questions for me about life in the Verdentious Causeway?
Oh, yes, and she begins to list off a litany of questions about Elvish culture and traditions and...
Yeah, Selenar is happy to talk about home until it's time to go meet at sundown at the mausoleum or whatever. So I don't need to roleplay with you for 2 hours about making up Elvish culture.
Let's hear it.
No, we're not. So
The episode.
The summation is she knows a surprising amount already, and you're able to clarify a few points with her throughout your discussions. But eventually, her time does run out, and so she must depart to teach a class. And you can go off and meet your compatriots at the mausoleums.
It was lovely chatting, but I must go.
A true honor. Go with Leaf and Star.
And you.
And so you depart. You all reassemble at the mausoleum.
At the Kindred Spirits mausoleum or at some other mausoleum?
The appropriate mausoleum that Corvus has figured out.
We're going to go lie in the grass next to...
There's no grass.
There's no grass, we're underground.
I know.
Do you?
Just had to make...
You seem to keep forgetting you're underground.
I just had to... Well, the whole bird question, yeah, I did forget that moment. It was... No, I'm just making the Fallout Boy joke again.
Do we get a short rest in any of this?
Oh, you could absolutely have taken a short rest if anybody wants to.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to
question.
apply a short rest, you have had more than enough time to do so. So go ahead, apply a short rest. You're all good. Feel free to roll any hit dice. Remembering, of course, that you only get back half of your spent hit dice on the long rest. So.
Oh.
So, like, if you had spent 2 hit dice yesterday on your long rest, you recovered 1 of them because your max was 3.
Oh, maybe I don't have as many as I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Automatically apply healing with dice result. It's not doing it.
Yeah, it's a little weird and tricky.
I'm also going to use my arcane recovery.
Okay, great. Love it. Get back a spell slot or 2.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think I'm going to get 2 first level slots back.
Wonderful. Love that.
Oh, works really neat. He can't damage anyone, but he can heal himself.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So, eventually the appointed time comes, and Corvus, you are approached by a figure who steps from the shadows and reveals themselves as Valagorsa.
Hello, Valen. Oh, it's been rolling in there the whole time. Interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how many hit dice do you have there, Corvus?
All of them. I've taken them all from you, thanks to the bell. Anyway, I have to go figure out which one of those is actually real. Let's go with the 8.
Yeah, it always go with the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I will say, yeah, I will greet her and say thank you for meeting me here.
Look, I'm loyal to Cash, so it's not hard. It was hard to track them all, but I did find out something.
I appreciate it. Trust me, your service will not go unnoticed.
I should hope not. Now, Paris. His last name is Swanee. He's a bit of a charmer, and he ingratiates himself into most situations. He's generally relaxed and has an easy countenance about himself. And all of his clothes are very well tailored to at least look expensive. Whether or not they are is up for debate. He's average height, lean build, dark hair, bright blue eyes, and he has a slim mustache. He's tricky. He's not a creature of habit per se. He tends to spend most of his days flitting between various dalliances and numerous rendezvous. But he can most often be found at a burlesque house in the upper tier of the docks called the Cabana. Now, the Cabana is... well, it's run by a gnomish woman. Her name's Gefilda Hilda. Don't ask. Don't ask. But her venue specializes in, well, exotic dancers and more gymnastic entertainments. So, you know, rope climbers and veil dancers and that sort of thing. Hoop wielders, I don't know. It's not really something I go for, but that's where he can be found. Any questions on Paris?
No, I think I've taken some notes on that. Let's move to the next.
Alright, so next up we got Sulfan. Sulfan Denka, right? Remember him? He's a quiet, awkward bit of a man, human. He's fairly short, actually, like much shorter than average. Bit of a paunch and long, scraggly dark hair, and most predominantly a scar across the left side of his face. Like rough-looking stubble and dark eyes, and hooded almost in a way. He sort of holds himself inwards, and kind of as though he's keeping others as far away as possible, as though he's almost afraid of being touched. Now, Sulfin is very much a creature of habit. He visits the same crowded streets every other day, at approximately the same time, pilfering whatever he can. He seems easily enough overlooked by most people, despite his features. Probably because his bearing is so nonchalant, he spends his downtime either at the Lucky Chance, which is a casino up in the Heart Tier, or at a pleasure house in the docks called Vom's Varietal. So Vom's Varietal is a pleasure house. It's run by an eye-patched human named Vom. I didn't go in. I don't know what's inside, so have fun with that. Now, the Lucky Chance is an interesting place. It's a gambling house run by Jordax Humphreys. It's another human. And they are very charming, Jordax is, but dedicated to the rules of the house. The games seem to be run on the level, but they are not a low buy-in. They are for high rollers only. Jordax is easy enough to pick out. They always have a shoulder cape pinned with a bejeweled clasp in the shape of playing cards. So Jordax is easy to pick out, and they can probably at least give you a line on Sulfin if he's there, if you can't find him yourself. Any questions on Sulfin?
None yet, thank you.
Okay. Well then, shall we move on to Lucy, Silversong? Lucy, very charming, halfling musician woman. She's often on the street corners playing her signature purple flute. She's an average-sized sort of halfling with a bit of a slim build and reddish-brown hair that she tends to wear in a short crop. And she can often be found in the Heart Tier, either near Shant College or through the busier thoroughfares of the Spray Catch, getting whatever loose coin she can, and probably picking up whatever gossip and information she fancies along the way. She's pretty straightforward and easy. She is not a difficult person to find. Now, are you good with Lucy?
Yes, let's move on.
Alright, so we got Squazim. Squazim is disturbing. Squazim Shade Supple, sorry. These gnomes and their names, I don't know what's going on with them.
I mean, yeah.
But Squazim Shade Supple is a male gnome, sort of a wiry, tight build, auburn hair, and a sort of weird tricorn style, as though he was wearing a tricorn hat, but he's not, it's just the shape of his hair. Very distinctive.
Auburn, yeah?
Auburn, yes.
Sorry.
He's a gnome. He has very intense green eyes that sort of are rimmed with red, and I don't know if that's just his skin or makeup. But the eyes are a bit unnerving, and most people tend to give him room as he walks around the city, as if he exudes an aura of ill omen or ill will or something like that. And that's what he does. He wanders around the city quite often. But he can be found frequently at the brawl, usually as a spectator. Not really placing bets, but he seems to like to watch what happens there. Do you know what the brawl is?
I can make an assumption, but no.
All right, so down to the docks, okay? There's this ancient fighting pit. At least that's what they use it for now. It's almost always busy. Middle of the day, middle of the night, early morning. Someone's fighting about something. It's where people go to settle whatever dispute or argument they're having. Couple of rules. No weapons, ever. And the disputes are over when the fight is over. If you go in with an argument, once the fight's over, the dispute is settled. That's kind of the rules. An older woman, a woman named Panema, she runs the whole thing and kind of oversees it.
Human woman?
Yes. Older, average build, kind of dirty blonde hair. She usually has a medical pouch just in case. Speaking of the brawl, if you're good with Squazine.
Yep.
Well, that brings us, of course, to Brunt, the last lieutenant of Darren's. Brunt is a male Draken, or sometimes people call them Dragonborn, but they're Drakens. And he's got dark bluish-black scales and horns that curl up the side of his head, you know? So they kind of curl like this. He's got red eyes that are like coals that burn with inner fire, and his height and breadth and impressively muscled physique are easily pick-outable and causes others to grant him a bit of a wide berth anywhere he goes. And where he often goes is the brawl. So he's there quite a lot, and he's usually picking a fight just to have a fight. And when he's not doing that, he's drinking at the seediest bar that I've ever heard of in all of the city. It's called the Barnacle, and it's in a forgotten dark corner of the docks. It's some place where you go when you really don't want to talk to anybody, or you really want to get in a fight over nothing.
Okay. Wow, that was a lot of information. You really outdone yourself.
That's what I do.
I mean, I'll need some time to process this information, but I'm looking for any ideas of a plan to get in. Anything that you might have thought of between now and then, I'm happy to hear it. Know that I'm...
Well, you had said you were going to try to replace one of them. At least that's what I thought you said. You implied that.
Yes, that is the general idea. I'm quite good at disguises.
Okay.
I would have to catch one of them and be able to see them just a little bit to sort of make sure my disguise is complete and watch them in action.
Well, all of them tend to sleep and have their quarters at the establishment. Through Calamines.
Yes, I haven't checked this out myself. I believe a couple of my associates have been in there, and it certainly looks like a regular storefront.
It is. It is a legitimate business. That's what makes it an excellent cover for those who wish to go beyond. And you already know how to get in.
Does she mean I know how to get in, like...
You know the code word.
Oh, I see. Another thing that occurred to me is I could pass as a, I don't know, potential new recruit. I'm not sure how aware my presence is in the city, or if anyone really knows who I am. But I don't know if passing myself off as Corvus is the best move.
I wouldn't
Correctly.
pass yourself off as someone connected to Cash. Most of the rank and file would not be phased, but it will certainly put Darren on edge.
Understandable.
If you want to pretend to be someone else entirely, that's a different matter. But either way, you should make yourself known on your own. As I said, my position is not one of influence, and I am still not trusted by half of the group.
I understand. And I wouldn't want to do anything to compromise your perhaps tenuous relationship as it stands. This has been very helpful.
Now, if you want to pose as someone else and be noticed, but performing some task or service, then I could always report that such an individual has been located, but then you would not know when you are being looked after. But if you're sufficiently impressive, an invitation might be forthcoming.
Okay, something to consider as well. I'm going to start with the leads you've given me here and see if I can get close enough to observe any of them.
Very well.
See where that leads us. Really, once again, I just need some form of proof that Darren is conspiring against Cash.
Well, I told you where it is. It's your job to get in and get it.
You're talking about the ledger, yeah?
Obviously.
character.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Just making sure. It's been a minute since we've had this discussion, and
Totally
things have happened in between. Yeah, well, that's the ultimate goal. I'll see if I can figure out a way to put the pieces together in which to get there. If we were
Very
to
good.
need to meet again, this feels like it is a safe place. Do you agree?
Yes. You're staying at the Ruddy Plank, you said?
This is true.
The Ruddy Plank has a second floor. I think the window at the end of the hall looks out over the harbor.
Okay.
If you need to meet in the evening, place an upside-down flower vase in the window. And I will meet you at this time here, that evening.
What time is it now? Just after sundown?
Yeah, like it's dark, the sun has set, like all the lights are in the process of being shifted to night mode.
How do you spell her name again?
Veala. Vala.
Veala. Gotcha.
Vala.
Oh, no E. Makes more sense.
Yeah. And then Gorsa is her last name. Gorsa.
Great. Well, Vala, thank you. I'll call if I need. Till then, I'd say keep your head down.
That's what I do. Don't get caught and don't fuck it up. And she puts up her hood and walks away. It's the cops! Cheese it!
That was good timing.
And with that, she's gone.
Yeah, she is out. She's gone. She's vanished.
Hold on, I swear, I just needed them buried.
All of a sudden, you see like a little horse-drawing carriage with some guy with like a crank horn and a donkey.
A little rubber club or a...
He's actually just got a cat, and he keeps pulling the cat's tail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, great.
Don't be cruel to animals,
time.
kids. Animal cruelty is not
No.
fun.
Unless they're cats. I'm just kidding. No, I'm
It
just
is.
kidding.
I bet. Nope.
Okay, good timing on that. I will try to, once my real life things right away, take all these pieces of the puzzle and figure out if Corpus is smart enough to put them together.
Okay. With that, Vala leaves you, and you all can return to the ruddy plank to contemplate your next steps. And with that, we will end tonight's session of Nuuli Forged. And kind of do that. Good job, everyone. I hope you all had fun this evening.
Always.
Wonderful. Cool. Great. You guys successfully defeated and freed the Kindred Spirits from their imprisonments in this bell, which you still have in your possession.
Still need to figure out what to do with, because it's going to slowly corrupt us and trap us like it did them.
Mhm.
Where's
It
that
seemed like the
piece?
corruption happened after death.
Okay. Yeah, whatever that priest was Selenar spoke to might be someone Corvus should visit.
Yeah, and you do know that there is like a whole like portion of the city where there are many temples. So like, you know.
Yeah, it's fair. I'll just stand in the middle and ring the bell till one of them shows up.
You never know. Great. Not only that, but you got a bunch of information. Selenar did. And Renata successfully negotiated a free room and board thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
You got some cash, you got a free ring, and a charred longsword.
Questionable items and some yucky mushrooms.
And some horrible tasting mushrooms. But hey, that's the way it goes. And then you got a bunch of information from Vala about Darren's 5 lieutenants.
I really hope I haven't wasted your time, Jared. I'm going to try to make the best of that.
You asked for the information, and she agreed to get it. How's that wasting my time?
I mean, waste her time. I don't know.
Hey, you know, this is the game. Like, I give you as much as I can, and it's your deal to fuck it up. Like, that's what you do.
Reliably.
That's the player mantra. Here's the info. Ignore it and do what I want. You know? But hey,
What terrible things can I do with this?
that's the game, and I love it. So it's all good. It's all gravy. But anyway, thank you all for watching so much. Thank you, Taco-sen Mashu, for being here. Thank you, NYC Zom, for resubscribing. Thank you, everyone who lurked and watched this evening. We'll go around, say our goodbyes, and I will figure out who we're going to raid. Let's start at the bottom rung with Selenar.
Hello, I am still Jeff, and I have been playing Selenar, and I will do so again next week. See you then.
Wonderful, thank you. And up to Renata.
Hey, I'm Renata. Mike, thank you for watching. Check us out next week. We'll check you out too.
Thank you. Next up, we've got Lunine.
Sorry, I'm unrolling my eyes from the back of my head. Thanks for watching our ghost hunting episode. Now watch as we do crime.
Wonderful. Then we got Corvus.
Hello, Ben Corvus, played by Matt, and yeah, this was fun. This ghost busting Maybe there'll be more.
Okay. Well, thanks. And then Andra.
Oh, hey, that's me. I am Sarah. I have been Andra. If you have recently tuned in and wondering who the heck are these people and why do I care, you can watch our past episodes on YouTube. There's not that many of them in this campaign, but there is a whole campaign one if you want to watch that, if you can't get enough of our lovely faces and fabulous role-playing. And or want to know more about these fabulous elf manners that everyone except the person who needed to use them remembered.
He wasn't here. He didn't know.
And yeah, no. And we also have social media, and you can follow us in all those places for updates about stuff. Yeah, I'm out of steam.
Great.
Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
And I have been Jared, your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Please hop in this raid for Quest Keep. Let them know that they've been newly raided. And in the meantime, we will see you next week. Be kind, be safe, be optimistic in some capacity. It's a rough time right now. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And know that we all are pulling for you.
Oh, listen.
I know.
The visual retribution every day is just great.
I know. It's wonderful.
The complaints about the already raising grocery prices.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's almost like tariffs aren't a good idea. But anyway, please be safe, be kind, and make sure you come back here next week on the 19th and join us for episode 15 of Nuuli Forged Campaign 2. And maybe these guys will figure out a name for their party at some point.
We have it. We have it.
We have one.
Oh, well, we'll have to figure out that. All right. Well, let them know that they've been newly rated, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.